let us know when we're live. Dude, dude, no, it already passed. This moment already passed. When it was what it never became.
Whoa.
Because we're really good with playing with past tense. And we're assuming that you know that I know that he knows that it's supposed to happen. Eventually it will happen, even it didn't.
We are
Oh no, because you're a smartass. That's because of that. Welcome, welcome.
not to interrupt you, but we are currently on a black screen.
Son of a bitch!
So they missed all of that beautiful
you
nonsense.
Want to push the button first. You want to make it fast. Look, I'm giving you the Amazon smiley.
Well, hang on. No, I hit the keys. What happened here? Oh yeah. Oh no.
Now we see us.
I was gonna say there's just a delay. So no, that was all good.
Okay. I opened up the stream and I was like, I'm seeing black screen.
Look what you deserve, Jake.
An Amazon. Oh no, it's Amazon frowny face.
That's a. Is that a dick?
Sad face.
The sad face.
It's an Amazon card that I won.
Actually, it's more like a this face because like one side.
You really are this. What your T-shirt says? I'm gonna be smartass today.
No, it says best in the world.
So yes. So yes.
Anyway, welcome everyone to Toon Talk 2.0. I'm here, your host Virus Box, with my co-host Jake Bogger and our special guest today from the Spur of the Moment podcast, Mr. Justin Sport.
Good to be here. Good to be. What's less obnoxious, blurry or no blurry?
No blurry.
No blurry.
Yeah, because we're real here on Toon Talk.
Excellent.
You know how much it took me to clean my office?
He had to bring in 2 maids today.
Oh no.
And they were dressed like.
See, I got that late afternoon Canadian lighting happening right now.
Is that technically the Northern Lights?
No, that does happen here though. It has.
Oh, I know. You're in primo spot for that. But anyway, before we get rolling on this somewhat pretentious review and commentary on Superman, quick shout out our sponsors tonight, Down the Middle Podcast. Hence because I don't own a Superman shirt for some reason.
I don't either.
But also our newest sponsor, the big bat box. But don't you worry, they have more boxes than just for bats, but we'll get on them later. And before I see what you did with the hair, by the way, Virus.
I've been doing this for
2 years. You've got the very specific curl.
It's been falling like that for years, bro. Seriously.
Now it's always on the other side.
No,
it's okay. No. You can say that you're theming.
No, hold a second. It just falls natural, for real, since our first interview.
Totally falls naturally. So, anyway.
You want to see my big ass?
Do what?
My essay? My big S.
Oh,
Anyway. So.
Oh, hang on. Easy, big fella. I also wanted to give a quick friendly shout out to a podcast that I discovered randomly on YouTube and have grown quite fond of because they have a very interesting concept. They're very entertaining. The podcast is called Just Another Movie Night. It is a husband and wife team that do before and after movie reviews. And yes, they did cover Superman. And they recently did the latest Jurassic World movie. I like their format. And you should definitely check them out. They're very entertaining. And they are linked, their channel's linked in the description, so you can check them out. Do that. Their Superman review, I feel like, was fair.
You're really Ted Mosby. We're supposed to take the idea, do our own podcast. Yes, I'm like Barney. Why? Why are you promoting another podcast company, Ted Mosby?
Because nobody can do it like they can.
You're
Because
telling
if we're
you.
nice to them, they might come be friends with us and bring us their subscribers.
Well, I mean, they're a smaller channel, but what they do is good. So they should be commended
you really
and listened.
must be a guy that I can stand.
Ted
That
Mosby,
Does that
architect,
does that
sex
make me
architect.
does that make me Marshall?
yes, sir.
That's
That
not a
makes
bad thing. And
No,
if I'm
no,
anybody,
no.
I'm Marshall.
no, dude. You're Ted Mosby.
No, I'm
You
not.
haven't mentioned your fiance and your wedding like you're a 15-year-old girl dreaming, no, 8-year-old girl dreaming with your dress.
That is not true at all because 80% of this, I've said I don't give a flying fuck about any of it.
Yeah, but you still.
Not really.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it to be over. I
You
love
just
you,
just learned the
don't
Populi, but
phrase
when somebody
yes,
tells something.
yes, dear, and no, dear. Yes, dear, no, dear. Sure.
yes, dear, no, dear. And who the fuck is paying for this?
Oh, come on.
Who do I make the check out to?
You don't do that to a girlfriend ever. You
What?
want to keep married? Don't say who the fuck is paying for this.
Oh, I
Never.
already have.
I'm not
God
done.
bless her that her English is not that this
No, I
ready
said
yet.
it in Spanish.
Well, that's the same shit.
¿Y quién va a pagar?
Yeah, but why? Why you American?
Porque no quiero pagar por
Oh,
esos
that's what
estúpidos.
I'm throwing in her face. I'm defending my colleague here, Latina. Please, you got a lawyer here. Anyway, Superman. Before we start,
Superman.
He's an immigrant. He's a dirty immigrant.
He's an immigrant.
Yeah, well, he's actually a legal immigrant, but I wasn't gonna talk about that.
Oh, he is a refugee.
No, he's a legal immigrant. He
Oh,
forced
you
his
said legal. You said legal.
I say illegal.
He's technically illegal.
He's illegal.
They forged his papers. That's all I'm
He
saying.
forced his he's a criminal. The Ken family is a criminal. I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm not here to talk about that. You
I
bring it
would
up.
pay money to watch ICE try to apprehend Superman.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm in Superman's side.
The Superman would probably go to
For-
immigration court.
for
I'm just
the-
This
saying.
is true. But
For
then
the
he'd just
fourth time.
come back.
For the fourth time, I don't want to talk about immigration. Please. Stop drinking Coke, Fatso.
This is Sam's Choice Cola because I'm poor.
Or when you can't afford real Coke.
If we could afford Coke, we wouldn't have a podcast.
You know, the other yeah,
valid.
for real. Yeah.
Imagine the line
Valid.
from Mexico to the States to Canada. We would be the Pablo Escobar.
If I had cocaine money, I'm sorry guys, I probably wouldn't be talking to you.
I know. Yeah.
No, we just have better podcasts.
It's with blackjack and hookers.
You just did. Anyway, before we start with the Superman for real, I want to be in a good mood, Jake. Please humor me. I know that you're going to be a smart ass. I know that you want to try to go against me. I want to be in a good mood today. So let's talk about the hope that this movie is bringing, because it's a good feeling movie. And part of what this podcast is today, people everywhere, let's just stop talking shit to get attention. Justin and me were talking. That's what we came with the idea of the podcast. Because I was upon how people were like, this is an awful movie. Today is the biggest movie of the summer. And
Okay, it's objectively not awful. It's not even bad. Like it's a good movie.
Thank you.
I just there
Yeah,
it
your
has
points are really good. Your points are
yeah,
correct.
that's what I'm saying, and I feel like to your point, and what you're going to tie into the overall theme here is it's unfortunate today because now when you have criticisms, you're viewed as automatically like saying that something sucks, and unfortunately, it does pay off if you have a big enough platform because there's like for example. I'm a really big fan of the Critical Drinker on YouTube. I think he's very entertaining. However, after he got, pretty well known, it's pretty rare for him to give a movie a good review now, even if it's not objectively bad. I use the example of when the Lord of the Rings movie, War of the Rohirrim, came out. He trashed it, and I was like, oh no, I hope it's not that bad. And then I watched it, I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. This movie is amazing.
Yeah, because sadly, like you say, the drama sells. But it's really, dude, It's not just Superman. Every time you open a, first of all, let's start from, I'm gonna say that I'm proud of be your business partner. I'm part of Already Media. I'm partner in Pantheon Podcast because you actually guide the company in an ethical path. You are don't let me fucking do many
Oh, I
things to
know,
get.
much to my own chagrin
I
sometimes, but
know, but you know what? I found not because you can talk, that means that you need to talk. Not you, I'm talking generally.
yeah,
Not because you think that
The royal you.
you
the
are
queen's
allowed to
you.
talk. And you're not an specialist just because a lot of people follow you. You are not. Sadly, society nowadays, right? If you have a lot of following, they make you a critic when you're not. Uh,
Just a guy, man. I'm just a guy.
yeah, but you know what I mean? It's annoying that I saw so many people that I follow talking trash about the movie just to get attention, to the point that it was a guy that started the video saying, "This is the worst movie Gunn has done." For people to click and they say, like, well, that's what I will say if I didn't love the.
Suicide Squad was way worse.
No, yeah, but you know what I mean? He said that because sadly that's what brings attention.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
getting fucking tired of that because now, regardless of their age, their ethnicity, their whatever, they talk trash about everything to get attention. And they don't understand that it's a result of the manipulation of the media for the last 30 years. But I'm really upset. So before I get more upset, let's talk about Superman good things.
Uh,
Please.
a phrase I heard, which Jake sort of lends to what you were saying, is the phrase criticism does not equal condemnation. And like ever since I heard that phrase, it like was like, yeah, that just like that makes so much sense. Because yeah, you can criticize a thing and not like hate on a thing. And I mean, to be fair, when I first started doing the talking TikToks, I used to be really bad about responding to rage bait. There's one guy in particular, he actually just re-popped up in my feed, and he was saying, he was like, it's annoying when your rage bait misses the point. Like he was complaining about um not to do any spoilers, but he was complaining about something that Hawk Girl does in the movie, a major thing. And he was like, "Wow, this is goes totally against what being a superhero is." And it's like, "Yeah, man, were you not watching the fucking movie? That was the point. Learn some media literacy, you idiot." But he's just doing it to make people mad, so people will respond to it and correct him. Like
Yeah,
that's the culture. That's what you're saying.
yeah,
And it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating.
it's really frustrating. There's uh said I lost my toe track because I got mad because I saw that thing that they were posting on you. And I'm like, people, okay, yeah, remember, it's a girl, a woman that works in oil stations in the middle of the ocean. And the woman is like, hi, this is how the video starts. This is so hard. I make $70,000 a month, but I need to talk with the same people for the month. I sleep and everything is moving. And you know what? Sometimes I need to eat the food that they gave me and I don't like it. And I live in Japan because of this. I go like, I wrote it with all the respect. You're blessed. There's people that never leave their town. I'm sorry that you just see the bad things, but guess what? You're getting a great pay that's gonna plan their future. You're 26 and you just complain about everything. I invite you to enjoy the ride because when you get off in 2 months and you can spend $20,000 just because an state still safe, 120, right? Just enjoy it. I get so much rage for that. Somebody's like, "What are you talking about? Don't you see that she's suffering?" I go like $70,000. Don't you see that she needs mental health? Change her job. It's like everyone's become a person to defend the fact, and like you said, Justin, they lost track of what they're talking about. At the end, it's just insults over me,
Yeah.
without, and the person that posts don't even interact. This was other people, but
Yeah.
this woman knows that he makes a post dramatic, is gonna get more attention, and in a point, that's gonna. It's like we're shooting in our foot really bad because we went to school. Not everyone, but A real critic supposed to be a specialist in the area and a journalist back in the day.
Yeah.
Now, whoever that has an opinion is valid.
I blame Yelp.
I mean Yelp, yeah.
Yelp
I blame
started this.
TikTok. There's so many like TikTokers who people trust their opinions too much, but it's like, hey, look, there's B-roll footage of them on the red carpet. Like, oh, I'm sure they're gonna give a honest and thorough review of the movie that they got. And hey, here's this critic, here's this TikTok guy, he's chilling with James Gunn. Oh yeah, his review's honest and true. It's yeah, it's like it's frustrating. I
But
think it.
the society see that a stupid person because they're stupid. If you don't respect, first of all, to be a bad critic and just rage is because you're insecure and you don't have the educational preparation to have a good critique, like you say. Yes, I'm talking about entertainment only. I'm talking about
Oh,
politics.
I mean, I was just going to say again, you have to. I understand what you're saying, but the thing is, just because, like I said at the outset, just because you're criticizing a movie doesn't necessarily mean you hate it. But I think what you're pointing to is when you have somebody who's a critic, in air quotes, that shits on everything, like every movie sucks. It's like, no, not every, a lot of movies, but not every movie.
But when we talk about this, how many of these guys went to cinematography school, to journalism school, or actually sit together in a freaking meeting to have a podcast every week for 2 years? They don't. They grab their phone and they take shit to get attention. And that's what this we're shooting as a society in our food, because in a point, right now reality doesn't exist. It's the reality that we construct under social media.
Perception is reality.
Yeah.
And
I would.
it's gonna get worse, way worse.
Oh yeah, it is. I find myself wondering not just about this, but other things, but this too. I wonder when the bottom's going to fall out of all of this because it's going to happen eventually. The industry has to change.
I don't think it's gonna evolve, but it's not gonna damage until the end of society. I say it many times. The biggest mistake in society
Yeah.
for the last 50 years, it was Facebook. It was good to meet people. Have you ever meet somebody on Facebook lately? Like meet and have a relationship with them?
Not
No,
lately.
but like only my parents and people my age use Facebook. So like Facebook isn't the nature of social media is it's ever evolving and people are always looking for the new thing. So like Facebook was the new thing when I was a teenager and now it's no longer the new thing. So it's just about what becomes the new thing. And the
No,
new thing is always afraid of the old thing. Or
it
the
was,
old thing is always afraid of the new thing.
I
but
used to be hip. I used to know what it was.
no, but let's talk about the multinational entertainment corporations that control the media. Facebook owns WhatsApp and Facebook owns Instagram.
Mhm.
Back in the day, it was owning the TV channel, the newspaper, the magazine, and you were in cahoots with the government in any country of the world. I don't want to hear that, not in this one, because in every country in the world, you got the media, you got the power.
Well,
And
loose cahoots at times, but yes, I understand what you're saying.
no, because let me tell you, there's a full analysis that I will share with you guys. As you guys know, I really follow. It's really hard that I follow somebody, but I've been following this guy for probably 20 years. The father of podcast, Olayo Rubio. He was number one in all the podcasts in the world 20 years ago for 7 years until iTunes decided to separate everything by country, and he became the number one in Mexico, and he flipped them and opened their own site. Convoy, www.convoy.com. You can listen to more than 20 podcasts that they're not restrained or controlled by every media.
Oh, see, I can't believe you. Why are you advertising another
Yeah,
podcast on
because
here?
father of podcasts. No, but what I'm saying, he just released, and he goes and release 1 or 2 episodes in every social, right, to drag clients to his thing. But he just released one about talking the conglomerates of media around the world, and he makes an analysis from the 80s until the day, how the power of the media controls everything, and not because it's in cahoots, Jake. The newspaper
That,
and
yeah.
the journalist, since he's a little kid, they told him, if you got a source, you need to protect it, but and review the source. to verify if it's good. However, if a politician calls you and tells you I got an exclusive, you don't need to verify the source because it's coming from the source. He can lie his teeth out, and because it does. In
I
journalism,
understand. I understand what you're saying. However, I would still consider a politician a credible source just because that source lied. Like there's an
yeah,
expectation of reliability there.
for you, Jake, for analysis like you, for the journalist, but the person that is reading, let's assume I'm going to put this example that Elijah Rubio mentioned. The first 3 months after 9/11, because a journalist and a politician said that Saddam Hussein might be involved, people in America and in the world thought that Saddam Hussein and all his prime ministers or whatever was responsible for 9/11 because some politicians say it. And the American government that's what I'm saying, because he gave an exclusive as a journalist, you need to put the exclusive,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. I understand what you're saying, but to
And
Justin's
now,
point, that's where media literacy comes in,
Yeah, yeah. Media
which
literacy is
unfortunately
at an
we
all-time low, unfortunately.
it
and
really
that's
is.
right, Justin. But what happened when we transport that, right, to a guy that how many billions of dollars and jobs has James Gunn generate in his career?
I mean, a lot.
A lot.
I'm
Not
not,
a
and
lot.
I'm not even.
He was the producer of Avengers. Too. Let's not forget about that. Let's not forget the trilogy of Galaxy of the Galaxy. He generated more than 6 billions and thousands. I'm not talking about his artistic perspective. I'm talking the media thing.
Yeah, yeah.
He generated all that. If you make an interview with James Gunn and you're a real journalist and somebody, you will get his perception. And like you say, as a journalist, you formatted the way that people will have it, right? An editorial. But then somebody comes with a phone that haven't done shit, studied shit, and he just have followers because he got good looks, he make the right joke, or he was trendy, or he knows how to use social media. Not
Just
because
described
he's
half
good.
a TikTok.
Yeah, and then he tries something like he got the knowledge, and sadly his followers gonna believe him and not the guy that generates $6 million that is been keeping the comic into the movies alive in what we're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah, yeah, but
But
the studios are complicit in it though, because let's be real,
No
and this is well,
money, Jake.
well, no, hear me out, because this is the truly ironic part, and I will admit I've fallen victim to this a few times, and when I do it, I recognize that I'm like, son of a bitch, they got me. They tolerate that,
marketing, man.
well, yeah,
Free
because
marketing.
because what this really weird thing has happened, and it did start with the millennials, but it's getting worse, and it's not, I'm not saying Gen Z's worse, I'm just saying it's getting worse over time, is now people will pay, which is ironic because of how expensive movies are now versus when they were. People will pay good money to watch a movie that they're pretty sure is going to be bad, just out of this strange morbid curiosity
Mhm.
as to just how bad is it going to be. It's a little bit different with us because we comment on this stuff. So even if we think, like, I'll just be fully transparent. I thought Superman was going to be bad. I did.
No, I was begging you not to think about that until you
And
watch.
I knew that, so I didn't go in thinking, oh, this is gonna suck. I went in thinking, let's see what they give me, because Superman is tricky. Superman is a tricky story to tell.
You're
You
telling
want to
me you
jump?
entered with preconceived notions? What? How unnervingly human of you.
Thank you. Okay, let's talk about the movie if you guys want. Please,
Ah,
let's tell me
oh,
what you didn't like.
love the movie.
It's got issues. It's
No,
got
no,
problems.
because I'm here to defend James Gunn because I watched it for the third time today.
See, I'm just here to defend the movie. I'm sorry, Jake. This is probably going to turn to two against one.
Oh,
I'll
that's
leave.
okay, because here's the thing. Like, my criticisms aren't, again, I just want to preface. The movie wasn't bad. It was a 7.
No, no, but we're gonna make a
Respectfully disagree.
no, no, we're gonna make a
Buckle
real
up.
as deep as our knowledge can, right? We're not gonna, and this is for the audience, obviously. We're gonna go our deep in analysis, of course, putting our point of view. Because when I talked to Jake about it and to Justin, I talked separate about it, right? Actually, your points are not bad, Jake. However, after watching it the 3 times, I understood In the first time I saw it, I told you. In the second time I saw it, I get it, but now I understood what it was bothering me that you mentioned, right? And I will go to that. But first, please, just your points are really good. Just go ahead.
Well, for starters, the
No.
begin.
I disagree. No, I'm kidding.
Well, no, okay. My first and
Convince me.
probably my biggest deal, honestly, with this movie is the beginning. This movie feels like a part two, but
Interesting.
we
That's
never got a
that.
part one.
See, that's what I like about it.
I
Well,
like
That's what I like about it.
it could have worked. It could have worked, but here's the problem. It started with a text crawl with a lot of fucking information
Oh,
that
okay, yeah.
we
Fair.
didn't see. We
Fair.
didn't get to
Fair.
see
Fair
any
hit.
of that.
Fair hit.
And
Fair hit.
if this was a lower budget movie, you could maybe excuse it. This movie had no budget constraints whatsoever. Like,
To
wait,
be, to,
stay there. I'm gonna grab a pen that I haven't used a pen like in years, and I'm gonna make a list of your points because I already got the comeback from that.
I have a comeback to that as well.
Please.
I mean, why it exists in the movie is, well, number one, there's been like 3 false starts on this DCU, so he needed out the gate to be like, nope, this is the official start. This is where it starts. This is where it goes. Number two, a problem they had with the previous version of this universe was they were constantly tacking shit off of an origin point. So this way they can introduce any superhero they want, and they don't have to explain why they never appeared before. So oh yeah, we could do it. We could do a JSA movie in the 40s because we've established that they've been around for 300 years.
let me clarify. Let me clarify my point.
Behave, gentlemen.
No, I want to clarify something because I understand what you're saying and I don't disagree. My issue isn't that this wasn't an origin story. That's fine. And in fact, that's preferable. Because let's be real, if you're going to watch a Superman movie, you know where the fuck he came from. My only issue is we start the narrative of this movie being told what just happened instead of being shown what just happened. What I would have liked to have seen, even if you're going to do some text, right? Give me some still images of what Superman's been doing. Or I would have preferred, cinematic segments. But if you must do like, I'm trying to think of another movie that did it. Sort of a 300-esque intro where it's like not full scenes, but it's a highlight reel where we get to see Superman swoop down at the border and stop the violence and he carries off the dictator.
Why he did that, but I'm gonna hold because after our conversation, like I said, it's not fair for the audience. After our conversation, I actually understood why they do it, and I'm gonna hold my commentary, but I know exactly why it's done like that. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't call James Gunn and ask him, but my perception and my knowledge of 43 years of collecting comics, right? And reading comics.
Here's the thing though. I don't care about comics. This is a movie. It's a different medium. It's a different medium. It's a different medium.
Yeah, well, but that's like you say. Okay, keep going. Next thing that you didn't like.
I'm just saying it broke the cardinal rule of cinema: show, don't tell. He told, he didn't show.
That's fine. That's valid. Second thing, come on.
Okay, so honestly, after that, it's just a bunch of little shit. There's some issues. What?
The little shit is valid because I like your.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the little homosexual, but I like your little shit.
Just real quick, Jake. Just before you get into the little shit, I find that an interesting way that you put that, because every negative review I've seen of this movie thus far has really been. Not that I'm pre-characterizing what you're about to say as stupid, but I would characterize what I've seen other people say as stupid little nitpicks.
I mean, fair enough. That's why I say, and I told Virus this. A lot of the stuff that I didn't like about the movie is me stuff. Like, these are my preferences.
This is why we're friends, Jake. I respect that you take ownership of that. Most people, but I think that's what Virus is getting at. Most people wouldn't. They wouldn't.
No. Because there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things across a lot of movies where I'm like, well, I wouldn't do it that way, but it doesn't make it a bad movie.
I'm the same way. I'm like Jordan. When Jordan does that, we do the show. We do this is a me thing. Like, this may not be like when we talked about when we reviewed this on our channel, we said there's a lot of this is a me thing. I understand that. Hey, I could see. Well, I'm sure we're going to talk about. I called it the sticky stuff. But I'm sure we're gonna talk about the,
Yeah, just
guy of it
like,
all.
well, just like for example, like this is a me thing. The hot girl screaming. That was a me thing. I fucking hated that. But
Oh,
did it
that's totally fair.
did it ruin the movie? No. It was like 4 seconds. Like
But
it's just
it's mildly irritating. I get that.
well, it's also not for all the people that are like, "Oh, this movie's so comic book accurate." I'm sure there's an instance somewhere in the comics once or twice, a la female Silver Surfer, where hot girl screams as she flies. But I've never seen another personification of hot girl where she screams when she's flying. It's not a
That
thing
is
that she does. Do what?
say
I don't know.
that you never what? Say what? Say that again. That
I've
you scream
never.
out.
Yeah, hot girl doing that weird shrieky hawk thing.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
sure.
know her well enough to. I'm sure there's some comics
I'm
where she's done
sure.
it,
Yeah,
but
I'm
yeah.
sure it's happened somewhere. Like, but it's not.
Never.
It's not. It's not a common thread. It's not a
Okay.
common.
Let me
The other.
of you because I don't want to go deeper. We're gonna go, but I need you to state the two of you with me. And if I fuck it up in the order, I apologize. But this is the hottest take I said in the history of Toon Talk 2.0. James Gunn is the only director that actually has brought a comic book series into life into a movie.
I don't agree with
Only.
No,
that.
no,
No, I don't agree with that.
Let me finish.
no.
Let me finish. Because every director, let me finish. I'm going to a point. I need you to stay with me. And I say it's going to be a hot take. Every director brings the story, make his movie with good and bad things, and throw the movie. What we watched in this movie is 8 comic books of a series of Superman to
Oh
get every.
yeah.
I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
So that's the first one that does that. Stay with me. Now, I agree with you, and we're gonna jump into that. The eye obsession and the dog obsession, but this makes sense now. Because the first comic that we've seen, every comic when you open it, what is has Jake?
It's a
Letters
splash page.
information,
Yeah.
no
That's
email,
what I
letters information on the first scene. Every time that James Gunn open a white shot, we're changing comics. When you buy a comic, for the people that don't buy the comic books, they're not following, you go and buy a comic and then says this comic will continue in that other comic. It's really rare that they continue one after another. So the first comic that we saw is Superman. I'm talking about the classic comics. Then we went to Adventures of Superman, right?
Well, I mean, case in
Let me,
point.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Typically a comic will start with a big block of text and then you're mid action. That's
but
what it's meant to, yeah.
Superman,
Yeah, I mean, this is
when
the collection of Blackest Night, and each
I
chapter
love,
begins with this because they were sold separately. This just happens to be.
yeah, but to my point, the first comic in the movie finished when the Malik helped him to get out of the hole and the other guy makes the threat. That's what Superman comic finish. And then we have Adventures of Superman when you have Clark and Lois arguing in the interview. That is the second comic.
I get that, yeah, and that's
And
that's valid. I still maintain though that this is a different medium, but my critique of that is less severe now. It dare I say, it might be a me thing.
but I'm let me just finish the whole thing and then we're gonna go to your things. Then we have Adventures of Superman, right? And then when he gets kidnapped or whatever, then we have Mr. Terrific comic. The whole Mr. Terrific when every comic is information, dialogue, climax, information, intrigue. Every comic in the fucking world, American comics.
Yeah.
That's what we have. Information. Hey, I'm Louis Lane. Come and help me to save Clark. Ha 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 ha. Blah blah. Right? Mr. Terrific comic. He flies. He kick ass. He gets you to the point when they look into the board. And spoilers, motherfuckers. If you haven't seen it, I already got 2 weeks to see it. When they see into the void, say I cannot I can repel. End of the comics. Then we go to Adventures of Superman. Another thing, and my point is that you mentioned that the jokes on crypto were too many. Yes, I agree with that because I felt the same time after I understood this, and I'm really happy to say that actually I came with this theory. Maybe I'm fucking it up, but in my mind it worked for 43 years of reading comics. When you put a joke in one comic, you repeat it after two, so you have the resemblance to go back. I didn't like the crypto thing, but then if you separate in comics, it's one per it's not even one per comic, one in each adventure of Superman.
Oh, see, I love crypto. I've had a shitty dog, and I just love shitty dogs. So
Dude,
like,
See,
Ozzy,
I want to clarify. I didn't hate crypto. I just felt that it was overdone.
see,
yeah,
I disagree. Here's the thing. I could see the because when I first saw the long preview where it was the first time we saw that clip at the beginning where crypto like jumps on him and breaks his ribs. I was like, oh, James Gunn be James Gunn, James Gunn be James Gunn, and all over this. Like it reeks of his sense of humor. But he feels so restrained in this. Like to me, James Gunn at his absolute worst is Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Like where his every character in that show is a fucking moron, and they
he's
all
my
make the dumbest fucking jokes.
yeah.
I'm
Not
gonna
to
have to
see
watch
it.
this movie again.
But like this he feels way more tame. Like he's being held back by the purity that is Superman, as it were,
You know
or
what's
the
funny?
earnestness. I mean, sorry.
Before you said that, I think I would have, because I think I actually said this, is that this movie would have been better had James Gunn been restrained. But when you put it that way, I'm going to be honest, I see what you mean. He is a bit restrained
He's
compared
restrained
to, yeah.
following the path of the Superman comics.
I
I mean,
damn,
I
I need to
mean,
watch this movie again. I do, like
I
legitimately.
the first time I saw it, I remember I called you. I was super excited in the pre-release before everyone, blah blah blah, right? Uh, but it was so many emotions because watching a Superman that I actually like. Because let's be honest, and I mentioned this before, Superman is not my favorite superhero.
It,
That's fair. He's nobody's
Batman
favorite.
is my favorite hero, but
that's not.
Batman
It's Nick's
Darkness.
favorite. Oh no, wait, no, it's not. Sorry.
My
No,
favorite Spider-Man. It's always going to be Spider-Man.
but for me, I got DC and Marvel, but from DC is Batman next to Green Lantern, right? Kyle Rayner, they're there for me, and underneath
Ooh, yeah, Kyle
Super
Rayner's pretty good.
because there's no Batman without a Superman because they're counterpart in the good spectrum. He's the Boy Scout and the vigilante that kick ass. He's the one that want to make the things right. It's Jake and me. I want to do other things, and you're the Boy Scout, and they portrayed this
The hey,
Superman.
dude.
What
What
the hey, dude? Darn it!
Superman in this?
I
Uh,
loved that, by the way. I'm like,
is
oh, okay, it's
so
Superman.
pure. It's so pure. I send you my review for IMDb,
Hmm.
and I
I
mentioned
completely
that
agreed with it.
in if you're a purist or a real purist, knowledge of Superman comic book series, you're gonna love the movie. If
Hmm.
a fan that likes Superman movies, you might not like it, but you're gonna have a good feeling. If you're a
It's the
Snyder,
best. I don't know.
it's the best, dude. I got the
Oh, if you're a
chance.
Snyder fan, now you're gonna fucking hate this. You're
Oh
gonna hate
yeah,
every second of
yeah.
it. You're gonna
Well,
hate every second of it.
for starters, this movie has colors in it. So,
Yeah.
I remember that when Jake, when Jake called me, say, "Do you like it?" It got colors
It's
in
got
it.
color in it. Holy shit.
well, no, literally, like if you guys, this is on record. Several years when they released the Snyder Cut on Max, Eric and I on Average Intelligence did a review of it, and I brought up the fact that it's like, where's the fucking color? Like 8 times, because I'm like, geez, man.
Oh man, no, it's been the funniest one of those DCEU movies is the Wonder Woman one because half of it's constrained to Zack Snyder's awful sepia tone color scheme, and then the half of it's in color and it looks bright and it's the most confusing thing ever visually.
Nothing will
Um,
fuck with your brain more than comparing the end fight sequences of Justice League between the Whedon cut and the Snyder cut.
oh, right. It's
Like it's,
pretty jarring.
I mean,
But
like pun intended, it's night and day, or day and
So,
night.
you know what is funny? A beauty of comics books, right, is that you have a full story, but you
mhm.
have different inkers, different drawers, different writers, but they need to follow the path. And again, this is the first time that I sit down in a movie.
Well, now
No, no,
it
no,
was
but
it was less
no, but
important the further back you go.
Superman. Correct me if I'm wrong, and people don't get this. This Superman has been 3 years of being a superhero. It's
Yeah.
young
Yep.
Superman.
It
A lot
said
of
it at
people
the
tell me,
text at the beginning.
yeah, I know, but they don't understand. I don't think people understood because when Superman died in the 90s, he's 44. Have you? I don't know. This is for a question of the audience. I don't know if people are commenting. Have you ever have a friend, date, acquaintance that is a firefighter, a paramedic, or even a doctor? They get sour with time because they see people die. They see
Yeah.
people they cannot recover. They can see people. Imagine being Superman for 13 years, and people wants to see this Superman before this movie. The Superman that he already had Louis, that he already lost a baby, that his mother died, that his father died. Dude, this is a pure Superman because he just started to be a superhero. He doesn't
Mhm.
even know the capability of his powers. And James Gunn said, I like this Superman is not an almighty yet. It's an almighty, but he will move solar systems in the future. Right now, he's been a superhero for 3 years. It's not like he grew up and had a manual how to be because they have a perspective from Krypton, right? That what they wanted to do.
Yeah, and
But this one is not.
See,
I didn't love
I
that.
don't I don't like Superman as an otherworldly god. Like I recently so my thing is my review may have been a tad softball to be fair to Jake because for context for those of you who don't know me and why wouldn't you know I'm kidding. Um I did a Superman episode and so I watched a shit ton of Superman shit including Man of Steel. And the thing that made me go, holy shit, I love this movie was you know what we saw within the first minute of this movie? Fucking Superman. You know how long it takes Superman to show up in Man of Steel? 42 fucking
Yeah.
minutes.
Yes, sir.
42 fucking minutes for Superman to show up in that goddamn fucking movie. Superman shows up within the first minute of this movie and he goes, golly, hey. I was in.
Yes.
I'm in immediately. When he was like, "Hey, golly gee, guys," I was like, "I fucking love you.
I
You were the
did.
greatest Superman ever." But to film, don't change, Muffin, don't change.
And I'm gonna gush on Corn Sweat here in a moment, but just to let
Oh, he's
everybody know,
so good.
he's really good. But if you guys enjoy discussions like this, but in with real life superheroes, check out the Down the Middle podcast, where every couple of weeks we sit down, we talk about pro wrestling. That's right, the real humans that put on their tight, stretchy pants and defy gravity in the ring without superpowers. Although some of these dudes and gals, think they do have superpowers. I think they do. Speaking of which, Virus, you'll appreciate this. Today I watched another documentary on Penta. You'd enjoy it. It's a good documentary because it goes not just the current version, but the whole character, the history of the Pentagon character leading up to the Penta of today. Solid documentary on YouTube. It's quite good. And
You too? Okay.
well, and that dude, I swear, tying it into superheroes, that dude is a real life superhero. I didn't know this. I learned this today. I didn't know that when he was 8 years old, he had to drop out of school to work
Yeah,
to make sure his family had food because his father passed away.
that's
And
that's
I like, holy shit. And I also found out he got deported.
had me with that, so I'm not gonna say anything. Yeah.
Yeah, he got deported for illegally crossing the border to
Now,
wrestle.
I something. You say those are real superheroes. You're saying that Superman is not real?
Unfortunately, well, actually, thankfully, no. Um,
I saw it a movie. It's real.
Yeah,
See,
totally.
I was really upset with the end bit where Superman gave up crypto to the system to go study space astrology.
That's really funny. That's really funny. Uh, so can we agree that after this conversation,
That was a
Space
solid
astrology
joke.
doesn't make any sense. I could
That
have
was
come up
a
with a better one. I'm sorry.
solid joke.
Thank you.
so Jake, now that I put in your mind that it's 7 comics in one series, that you're watching a series, that now the joke is repetitive because of a purist
I
technique, don't you think your qualification went a little higher?
no, I that's what I said. Now I want to watch it, which I was going to watch it again this weekend anyway. Um, I see what you're saying. It's
It is like
different.
the back half of a really solid comic
It
run.
really
Like
is. I mean,
I
yeah,
would say that. I would absolutely say that.
That's what I said. That is the first actually director that does that. Never seen it before in a movie. I see it in TV shows.
that way,
Never,
yeah.
and it was a risky move, yeah. But having a superhero inside of a movie of a superhero having his own movie for Terrific and the Justice Gang or Gang of Justice or whatever is really
Love that.
funny. I mean, I close my thing, but and I'm not gonna keep spoiling for the people, but the comic six is about the Justice League. Is I don't want to go away. So when you see it like that, my perception totally changed because it made me take a deep breath. And actually, like I said, he opened a wide shot every time it's a new comic.
Yeah.
So it was. Now I gotta say something that it didn't bother me but surprised me. It's a big spoilers alert. Should I or should I not? Fuck it.
Well,
This is what we do. Go watch it in theaters. It's really, really good. We're gonna spoil it. If you can't handle spoilers, you go earmuffs for the
go.
next little
I will
bit.
La, 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 la,
Well,
la, la, la.
you know, when we find who Ultraman is, I'm not gonna say that, right? When you say who Ultraman is, he looks like uh the third part of the Star Wars, the new one. He looks exactly like that actor with long hair.
It's corn sweat though.
I was gonna say it's
No, no,
corn.
no, 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 Thomas. It looks like the actor that played Darth Vader in the third one. He looks like him, not both. The guy that played Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, Hayden
Hayden
Christensen,
Christensen.
but it's not.
I mean,
No, I know it's
it's.
not. I say they look
Oh
alike.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Bro,
Yeah, I
with long hair, he looks like a fucking Jedi. What the fuck?
He kind of does.
if
But
I if
like
I
I
if I
said,
had to be critical, I'd say that was really fucking obvious, like immediately obvious. It's stupid fucking obvious.
Well, the thing is, there's no bet.
I've seen The Boys. He's Black
There's a,
Noir.
there's a literal point in Eldad. The only way to win a real battle is when you win it against yourself, and that's the full pad of Shakespeare in there. Sorry, it is.
eh,
It is.
I
eh.
don't think James Gunn thinks that deeply.
I don't know, Justin,
He
because when you write it,
doesn't strike me as that deep of a thinker.
well, maybe, but he doesn't become the person that he's so important in the biggest movie industry in the world if you don't have that knowledge. Maybe he didn't put it. It's like, oh, let's do this, but understand that the only real good villain to fight him needed to be that villain controlled by the mastermind of Lex Luthor. I think that that's a really good point.
This is going to be a hot take, but first I want to gush over. Uh, what's his first name? I keep forgetting it.
David
Corn Sweat.
Cornsweat.
David
Yeah,
Corn Sweat.
him too, all the time.
I mean,
Bring him back, put him in the costume every single time, have him do
best
cameo after cameo after
be-
cameo.
best live action Superman thus far. Now, granted, caveat: I have not seen the series that's on HBO
Oh,
because
he's
I've I've
really
been I've been
good.
I've been told that's quite good.
He's really good.
It's a fantastic show that make me cry, make me laugh. The end, I was tearing out like I'm watching a drama for real, but the movie's better.
When
The
he
movie,
Yeah.
first showed up on Supergirl, we were mid Zack Snyder, and I remember watching that and being like, do that. No, the movies do that.
Do
And then
that.
they did.
And they because we saw no, but we saw a Clark
He's really good at Superman. He's
human.
genuinely.
Superman contradiction as a character is that he needs to be controlling himself because he loves to be a human, but he can't because he's an alien, right? So that contradiction in a character is beautiful because
But
he's confronting himself all the time. Ergo, what happened in the movie? He
but
confronts himself.
my retort to that would be the fact that Superman's an alien. Yeah, it's part of who he is, but it's not what he is. Like the thinking he's an alien is kind of what not only uh Zack Snyder fundamentally misunderstood about Superman, but I watched a documentary about Tim Burton's awful Superman movie, and like I totally recommend it. It's called The Death of Superman Lives What Happened. And watching that movie, you learn that he's so fundamentally misunderstood Superman because the fact that he's an alien is not part of his character. Like that at least it can be, but to me it's when he's at his least interesting is when he's like arrogant, above it all, like semi-god thing. Like I couldn't stand All-Star Superman for that reason.
The Snyder Superman is a little selfish.
A
Yeah.
little?
It's a little selfish. I didn't want to say a piece of shit, but this Superman is a real Boy Scout. When
This
he says, I'm gonna,
Superman would have been distraught if a courtroom exploded around him.
yeah,
I saw a really good video today of people being like, so you had issue with the Man of Steel, how it was 9/11 times a million. Um, there was just as much citywide destruction in this as there was in that. Metropolis literally gets split in half. What's the difference? And he went, "You show Superman saving people. That's the difference." And I
Well,
went,
not only that, they made sure, which funnily enough, because I watched Justin, you'll appreciate this. I watched Ben Shapiro's review of Superman. He was not as critical. Yeah, well, he wasn't as critical as I thought he was going to be, but he made a point where he's like, "That was kind of stupid when he saved the one woman in the car when the building that's presumably full of people fell down on everyone." No,
no,
because they evacuated the
they
city.
evacuated.
yes, they evacuated the city. Yes.
The movie's controlling in every aspect, so there's no unresolved questions,
Right,
and
and
that's
they make a point. They make a point to say, "Oh, the breach is
when
heading
they
this way,
explain about
and
the
there are people
fucking
there."
glasses. Finally, you know how many fucking times I need to explain somebody about the glasses? This is not a James Gunn thing. It's,
No,
I
the
know,
Hendo
I know.
glasses is very much from the comics. No, yeah, that's a comic book
Yeah.
thing.
Oh my
yeah,
God. Speaking of gushing, okay, I just have to. My number one worry of this movie was the Green Lantern of it all,
I can see
and
why you would say that.
I am pleased to say, as both a fan of Green Lantern and Nathan Fillion, just
So
bravo.
how much of this is spoilers? Because like they didn't really show much of the plot in the trailers. So like that me when me and Jordan talked about it, we kind of had this difficulty of like I watched it and there was a particular two countries that made me go, I wonder what Jake's gonna think about this.
I think people are reading way too much into that.
Interesting. Because Ben Shapiro read into that from what I understand.
No, he actually criticized the people
he
that were reading into it.
Really? Oh, fair enough.
before the
No, fair
thing
enough.
he didn't. Um,
I
some
mainly
It's
went Ukraine, if
there's
I'm being honest.
Well,
something
he even
um,
his criticism of the people who have said like there's a lot of people that are saying that this is Israel and Palestine. It's not. And I suppose you could make the comparison of it being Russia and Ukraine. It's not. They're both nondescript countries.
I
and
would say that the leader is kind of Netanyahu coded.
you know
I
what?
don't know.
I got a slight vibe of that, but you could also just say Eastern European vaguely.
But
So
something guys. The comic books always reflects the political
Oh,
circumstance.
for sure.
Again, this is a comic book with real life moving.
I think one of the countries involved in the conflict is like from one of the very first issues of Superman was same plot. He goes and intervenes in their politics.
But now they talk about the representing himself. It's a good narrative. I don't have a question about the script, and that's really rare in a movie. I don't have a question. Everything is in my mind. Is like, okay, the Jimmy Olsen, how he got the girls It's fantastic because he goes through that, right, in the
Just
comics.
I just cracked up because that actor
I
plays the
love that
oldest.
actor.
When I
I
saw him in Santa Clarita, that's where he started. I
Yeah.
promise, I told you that I told my girlfriend that when we're watching Santa Clarita, I said, that's a perfect Jimmy Olsen.
Oh yeah, when they announced his casting, I was like, "Oh my god, never!" The only more perfect casting they've announced
I,
recently is Jason Momoa as Lobo. Like,
I believe that this casting could be perfect.
Oh no, I agree. It made me chuckle because I did see him in the Clarita Diet, but the first thing I ever saw him in was when they did the reboot of Vacation,
Oh, I
and
oh
never.
he
yeah, yeah, right. He's in
and
that. Yeah.
he's the eldest son who's kind of a wallflower until the very end.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
Oh
Yeah,
my God,
yeah. He's very. I love him. He's hilarious. He's so
his
good in that.
he's so good in comedy because this is one of the few people. The best line in that movie is he's like, "Oh, come on, you can ask me anything." Okay, what's a rim job?
I see. There's. It's, it's
uh,
funny. As a my favorite Superman movie. This is now my favorite Superman movie, but my favorite Superman movie prior to this is the Christopher Reeve one, the first one. Second
the
one's bad,
first,
but the first one's really good. So I love the fact that oh fuck, I'm forgetting her name. Tess Mocker, the Lex's girlfriend. Eve
oh,
Tessmacher. Eve Tessmacher is a character right from the Christopher Reeve Superman movie.
yeah,
That was
the,
delightful.
the outfit that she's wearing in when they go in the snow is exactly a replica. Just the
Yeah.
colors are different, a little different.
I
Yeah,
will
no,
say
I
the
and
very fun part of this movie is there's a lot of nods to both the previous Superman movies, but also there's a lot of comic book nods that are like you won't miss something if you aren't aware of it, but if you are aware of it, there's a lot of things that you're like and they make reference to it, but like
and
Guy Gardner's haircut, for example.
Yo, yeah, that's comic accurate.
I
Yeah,
got a
Nathan
question.
Fillion insisted on it.
I got a question for you guys that I haven't been able to check, read, or find it. When they're inside the Justice League, that is in development because you see the workers
The
outside.
Hall of Justice. That was great. That was funny.
In
That's a fun reference.
there's in the left, there's a drawing with the three characters and a human. Somebody knows who that human is? He's the guy
I
that pays the league.
I
I think
missed it, but
so.
if I
Yeah, I
had to
think that's
guess, it's
supposed to be
probably
Max Lord.
Wildcat. Oh,
Yeah,
Max Lord. Yeah, it would have been Max Lord.
because I
Yeah.
Which,
couldn't.
funnily enough, I'm sitting in the theater the whole time. I'm like, where have I heard that fucking name before? And then I remembered that he's the villain in Wonder. I mean, I know who Max Lord is in the comics, but he was also the villain in Wonder Woman 1984.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, played by Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, thanks God
Yes.
explain it because it will be too many Pedro Pascal everywhere. Uh, one more thing about I want to talk about Lex Luthor.
Oh, loved him. Loved him so much. Loved him.
This is a hot take, and maybe I'm wrong. So far, I haven't, but maybe I'm wrong. We're not seeing Earth Prime, just for people to know.
No, that's clear.
Not clear. They just put one thing, Jake. That's the
Well,
only
no,
thing.
it's Luthor Corp, not Lex Corp. So
Well, no,
But
The Luthor Corp is a reference to Smallville. That's why it's Luthor Corp and not Lex Corp.
yeah,
right,
no,
I
but
know, but
not Earth Prime.
yeah, it's not Earth
I
Prime.
I think as far as James, it is within the confines of James universe. It is Earth Prime, but I get your point overall.
Well, Earth
Well,
Prime is relative unless you get to the objective multiversal
Yeah,
reality of it all.
however, that's what my thing. I don't know why you don't like Lex,
I,
Jake.
okay, so let me clarify. I think, God damn it, what's that actor's name? Because he's really good.
Lex.
Nicholas Holt, the
Nicholas
actor
Holt,
playing Lex
yes.
Luthor. Nicholas Holt, love
I
Nicholas Holt.
80% of that performance was just flawlessly perfect. There, I have some issues with the characterization of Lex because in 1 minute he's a maniacal evil genius, and the next minute he's a complete fucking idiot.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think this is supposed to. Well, he said that he was inspired by the Michael Rosenbaum Lex Luthor from Smallville. But I would say in tone and just based on how much of this is inspired by the Christopher Reeve, he's sort of he's a
Gene
more
Hack-
sinister version of Gene Hackman.
we discussed that in the
Right, but
phone call.
not only that, that
I got a
Lex
question.
Luthor.
When is idiot?
Well, for starters,
To be fair,
he
I can't
has
stand the Gene Hackman Lex Luthor. So
yeah. Well, for starters, he's got a ditzy girlfriend that's constantly photographing his just
Because
hilariously illegal operation.
No, he just don't care about her.
Because I
he's
know,
so
but
arrogant.
it's still stupid.
No, dude, because
That's pretty peak Lex Luthor.
and with that money, don't care who's there.
All I'm saying is the Lex Luthor of the Justice League animated series would never be so foolish.
The Lex Luthor of the animated series is 10 years older than this guy.
I understand that, but stupid is still stupid, no, regardless of age.
Tell me Jacob 26 things like Jacob today? Hell no. You have experiences. You change
That doesn't mean that what Jake did at 26 wasn't stupid.
Also, to be fair, the point is
No,
that
that's
he's so arrogant that he underestimates her. He doesn't think of her.
I mean, fair enough.
He doesn't have any thought for her, so he doesn't consider that she would have done that.
And I will take account and say that's probably a me thing. Because I like my Lex Luthor completely, absolutely brilliant, and has contingencies for the contingencies of the contingencies,
Time out.
and racially ambiguous.
Time out. You got a guy that is running a coup in a country, buying another country, making a fraud, convincing the American government, preparing a Ultraman to hit Superman, controlling every move of Ultraman. Of course, he
Motherfucker's busy.
Of the girlfriend. He doesn't give a fuck, Jake.
Yeah, I also didn't love the battleship aspect of.
What do you mean, him quarterbacking?
C-16 D-52.
See, I love that. That's so Lex Luthor, though. That's so Lex Luthor. That is peak Lex Luthor. I applauded this movie's restraint from having him show up in the power suit at the end and doing a big punch. Like that's the kind of movie this could have been.
Now, if I could make before I realized
Jesse Eisenberg. Sorry.
Different comics, before I realized that it was different comics, the biting legs by Crypto, I was like, that's too much. But now that I separate the comics, it's a recurring gag, so I like it. Sorry, Jake.
No, I did not dislike that, because I feel like that was the greatest way to bring Lex Luthor down to size a bit.
I felt like all the humor worked in the spots that it was, because when you perceive of it like a comic books have moments of levity, and I saw someone say this kind of skews a bit closer to one of the animated movies or animated series, which I tend to agree with. And they have jokes and levity. This, like, when people are like, oh, there's too many jokes, but Superman, it's not like Superman's doing a big quip. It's not like he's doing a big silly joke. His joke and his humor felt organic. It felt like jokes and humor he would have.
Organic, but it's funny. Is the post-credit one, the second post-credit?
Yes, that was Superman. But that's Superman.
He's kind of a good guy now. I want to bring something else that I've been reading that people didn't like. The mom and dad, they're perfect. This is the first time I see Jonathan and Martha Kent as they supposed to be.
No, see, I fucking hated that.
They're a little bumpkiny for me.
Yeah. They're too bumpkiny. I'm sorry. Here, okay. There's folksy, and then there's fucking stupid.
Well, hold on a second. Do you remember that the ranch or whatever they live is 16 miles away from the city?
No,
16 miles is not that far. No,
I'm sorry. They know how to use a cell phone.
How old is your mom, Justin?
I mean, my mom's in her she just turned 60.
How old is your mom, Jake?
My mother is 74, and she can use a fucking iPhone.
Yeah. My grandmother knows how to use a cell phone.
Fucking thing, and they yell at it, man. That's
just no.
Yeah, that's someone trying to in a screenplay or a script convey the idea that they're old when their physical appearance does the job. I hated that first scene with them. I hated it.
And I'm gonna say, for a movie whose casting was largely top notch, they missed the mark hardcore on Ma and Pa Kent.
Maybe in Martha, but not in him.
Both. It was fucking atrocious. I don't believe for a fucking minute that dude worked on a fucking farm his entire life. I don't.
Why?
That's valid.
Because I know farmers, and they don't fucking look like that.
Dude,
he's physically incapable. No, he's not old. He's fucking fat and sloppy and stupid.
Are you saying that America, the most obese country in the world, is not everybody fighting a farm?
Not fucking farmers. No, dude. Have you ever met a
Oh,
farmer?
Jake, what are you talking about, dude? They're huge and
Bro,
fat.
bro, I grew up with cornfields on 4 sides of my fucking house. I know farmers. You
No,
can't
you're
be that fat. You
no, you're
can't
wrong.
be. You
Now
I
you're
mean,
wrong.
cannot be that fat.
unless he's eating his own crops.
Even then, no, dude, every farmer that I've ever met, and
I
there's been more than a few,
I mean,
because
maybe he has a stable of employees who do all the work for him.
it's implied they're fairly poor, though. So,
they're not poor, they're normal American.
I will say, for as much as I hated the scene with the phone, his dialogue with Clark on the
It's
farm,
really
I love
good.
that. That was really good. That was really good. I
no,
really
because
enjoyed
he
that.
seems so he seems
Superman,
so he seems so oblivious to everything. And
no,
here's
bro.
the
Superman is the thing is that's how the comic is.
not
It,
all
it,
of them.
it projects that optimism
Yeah.
there's a reason why Superman is so optimistic is because his dad's optimistic. That's kind of, and it's supposed to reflect like they're more. I guess if I were to speculate, I would say that the fact that their Pa Kent is more overweight, less like attractive looking, perhaps for lack of a better word, is supposed to contrast their more human nature as opposed to what they do with Jor-El and
And that the girl that looks like Lady Gaga, but it's not Lady Gaga, but it looks
fuck
exactly.
bitches and kill everyone who stands in the way of you doing that.
Yeah, and I really didn't like that. I did not
I
like that at all.
I didn't love the presentation of it. Here's the
I like
thing.
Temptation. I didn't like that
No,
him.
the presentation of it was bad. It was real bad.
They're friends.
But
Him.
Jor-El being a sucky shithead is a thing that is consistent with like the version of him in Smallville was shitty at first, and there's a comics where he's shitty. So
Yeah.
him not being great is not out of character for him. But the presentation of it left something. The execution also, I'm pretty convinced it's a red herring.
I would hope
I don't
so.
think it's real.
I think so too. But here's another thing. This is a criticism I have of a lot of just major Hollywood movies is there were parts of this movie that were way overcast. Like Bradley Cooper being Jor-El is one of them.
Yeah, but
Like
That's
not
because he was Rocket
Rocket.
Raccoon. That's why.
He's Rocket Raccoon. They're
Yeah,
friends.
that's why they're
he still
friends.
commands a salary that could have been better utilized elsewhere.
Why?
Oh, I'm completely with you. I'm always like cast unknowns
The movie
100% of the
is
time.
good. Why
Okay,
can't they
okay.
cut the
And
budget?
Bradley Cooper aside, the robot voice cast. Alan Tudyk is fine, but he doesn't command a gigantic salary. But there are some people, like, why are you casting major Hollywood actors in roles where we don't even see their fucking face? Get
Remember,
voice actors.
just for the record, a lot of mainstream
Don't disagree.
actors they just get paid the beat by the SAG and AFTA thing, and they're not charging complete, bro. Those
Yeah, I know,
small
but you know what scale pay is for SAG-AFTRA now?
$4,363
No,
a day.
it's more than that.
No, a day of a
Oh,
beat.
a day.
Yeah. So if they go for 3 days,
But like Palm Clementoff, she's not taking scale. Her friend James Gunn has invited her to do a voice for an afternoon. She's making millions of dollars to do that, and you make it. It does inflate the budget unnecessarily when you could hire a voice actor for half the price
I don't know what Bradley Cooper made, but probably he didn't. It wasn't a lot, man. And
to
okay,
do one day on a green screen
yeah,
soundstage.
pretty sure that he didn't charge a lot, and I think he was there because probably he tell, "Hey, dude, I want to be in the Superman movie. I
I
was
mean,
the fucking
fair.
raccoon for fucking 10 years."
I think it was probably more like James Gunn was like, "Hey, you want to be in the Superman movie?" And I don't
Probably.
disagree with you. Like, the first thing I said to Jordan, I didn't go, "Hey, that's Jor-El." I went, "Oh, hey, that's Bradley Cooper."
And
Whereas
that's
with David Cornswet, I'm like, "That's Superman." The
and
difference.
before that was Marlon Brando. Remember in the original one, so that's pretty cool.
Marlon Brando,
Listen,
bad bloke. Russell
you
Crowe.
gotta you gotta fuck a bunch of us
Oh my
women.
God, that's a phenomenal
You gotta
impression. Holy shit, that's good.
you
You put
gotta
something.
fuck
Got to the
you gotta
marbles in your mouth.
you gotta fuck a bunch of Earth women, okay? And anyone tries to top you, you fucking kill them. All right?
Yeah, but yeah, there's no way. There's no way they
Use your
you
heat
know,
vision.
they'll do Brainiac and
Use your heat vision and give them a fucking lobotomy, okay?
So can we speculate what's gonna happen next with the characters that we see, not the ones that we haven't seen? with the ones that we think and we speculate a
Oh,
little.
Superman's gonna be in Peacemaker. Full bore. Full stop. He's gonna
So
be in Peacemaker.
I
Full
think
bore.
that
Full
we saw
stop.
the beginning of Superman Bizarro.
Oh yeah. That probably Ultraman will come back. Ultraman will come back in the next one, and
I
he'll
don't think
be
the
more.
next one, but we saw the story of Bizarro. I think that the robot number 4, right, is the Eradicator, because the one that
Mhm.
is the best for personality. Um,
Is there?
oh,
Did I read somewhere that a movie named Lanterns is in the work?
oh no, 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 no.
Show.
Hold on a second.
What
It's
show?
a TV show
Oh, it's a
We
from
TV
talked about it
show.
when you were.
HBO.
We
And
talked about it when you were on our
they got
podcast.
the best
Oh.
actor for Hal Jordan, bro.
Who did they cast for him?
Do you remember TV
Kyle
show
Chandler.
Friday Night Lights?
Oh, that's right. We talked about. Yes, go.
It's perfect.
Apparently, my thing though, my thing, my concern with this universe going forward. Number one, that Green Lantern show sound. Sorry, virus. That Green Lantern show sounds kind of bad. But, Guy Gardner is supposedly in that show. Like Nathan
No,
Fillion has confirmed that he's
oh,
Nathan Fillion has confirmed that
Yeah.
he's in that show,
oh,
and
that's
he
cool.
apparently he gets to drop a bunch of f bombs. But just like it tonally it pulls me out of it a bit because I'm like, wait, he's gonna go do a serious high concept like police drama on HBO
But
where he gets to curse a bunch, but then he's gonna come and do PG Superman
wait,
movies.
Yeah,
It's weird to me.
yeah,
wait, wait,
because
wait,
that's
wait.
the
Yeah,
corpse,
that's Guy Gardner, bro.
and that's the corpse.
I don't I just my brain just I have the same issue with those Netflix Marvel
Have
shows where it's like
you read Green
Captain America's like language and Jessica Jones is off of the universe fucking like I just can't.
No,
It's
but
weird
Yeah.
to
hold on
me.
a second. Have you ever read Green Lantern a lot? Do you have the chance to read a lot of Green Lantern?
Well, yeah, a little bit, but usually it's from a
Tonal shifts.
particular
Yeah,
Tonal shift based
is
on the page. If
right.
it's
But
it's kind of it's kind of their deal.
the difference being though is that in comic book form, it's because you have different writers and different artists doing different runs on a character, and that's where they make changes. With a movie universe that's supposed to be the same consistent universe or another run of comics, yeah, to me and to be fair, this is like you say, Jake, might be a me thing, but like for example, Peacemaker showing up in this is funny, but it's weird to me he's gonna go blow guys' heads off in his show and say the F word a bunch. Like that to
Well,
me is tonally
here's
weird.
here's another weird thing about Peacemaker being in that movie is Peacemaker was established to be in the previous movies where we have a different Superman.
They answer that in the show. Sorry, Virus has a he's
uh,
giving us the timeout.
I understand what you're saying, and I respect it, obviously, Justin. But in real life, Jake talks in a way I don't even course, but in this show, and there's people murdering people in the corner, dude. That's how life is.
Yeah,
Guy
but
Gardner
it's
first, Peacemaker blow heads, and Superman is a Boy Scout. That's how life is.
television movies aren't real life though, would be my response to that.
What?
They're not?
What?
I know, right? Crazy. So it's just yeah, you want I don't know. I like my
Hey,
media
not
that's
not
in the
for not for nothing. I'm pretty sure that just last week I saw a shirtless Peacemaker dry humping another gentleman on live television. I'm pretty sure I saw that.
All right, right. But Jake, the Peacemaker being from the previous universe thing, that's apparently gonna. Well, it appear if you've seen the trailer for season 2, it ends with it appears that the Peacemaker from DC, basically the Peacemaker that shows up in this movie, who's on TV in that cameo, he's this universe's Peacemaker, and season 2 of the show is the Peacemaker from the DCEU is gonna come into this universe and kill the DCU Peacemaker and take over his life.
I figured it was probably something like that, but I hadn't seen it
I,
yet. So
I got a cultural question. You call it trailer, correct?
Yeah.
I call it trailer, but in America they call it teasers.
I mean, they call them
Do they?
teasers here too.
No, no, no,
Well,
no.
they
That's what I say, Jake. You call it teasers, but in Canada and in Latin America, I call it trailers.
well,
So that,
we have a teaser trailer. I see for me, I don't know, it's a teaser trailer, main trailer, and then final trailer. That's how I always saw it.
interesting. Thank you. What's a cultural question?
Yeah, yeah. At least, but to be fair, that could be a me thing and how my journey on the internet is.
Now, people, two things. First of all, this is how you discuss a movie, right? Not with angles and culture, right? So thank you, Justin and Jake. right? We didn't trash the movie. We talk our points, right, on our perspective. Obviously, my
Hey,
perspective was better.
criticism is not condemnation.
There you go. Now it's time for recommendations. We already passed 15 minutes.
No, it's time for our second sponsor. Hey guys, do you like bats?
Okay, so you said that earlier, and I have quite. When you say bats, do you mean like the sports equipment or like the furry animal?
The
Because you
furry
didn't
animal.
clarify which.
That's
Wait,
true.
okay. Now I have more follow-up questions. Okay, I suspect you're going to answer all of them in this ad.
Go
What
ahead,
are,
Jake.
what are your questions?
Oh,
No,
it's just,
for
just,
me.
just, just. So, do you get do the bats come live in the box? Do they come like? Or is it like?
No. So what a bat box is, and actually I can speak to this because believe it or not, I had one at my old house and I loved it. So what a bat box is it's basically just an artificial habitat. But here's the thing. These
It's
are
a birdhouse,
places
but for bats.
but for bats. And here's the cool part. It will
Gotcha.
give you a natural insect repellent in the evenings. So if you like to do things like cook outdoors or just spend time outside and you got a mosquito problem, I highly recommend you get one of these bat boxes because it will
Huh.
attract bats. They will roost
Do
there.
we have a commercial?
No, we don't have a commercial,
Uh,
unfortunately, so I just
I,
have to talk about it.
I have a
But
I
perfect
here's
have
one.
literally never heard of one of these. This is
oh,
incredible.
they're super cool though because I
Dude, me
when I
neither. That's why I turned the computer to watch it.
yeah, no. So literally, it's exactly what it sounds like. They have various sizes. I recommend the big ones, but you can get. And here's the cool part, though. The one that I bought, like back in the day, was like $100. These start at like 20 something. They're not
That's pretty.
expensive, and they
That is
look
very
so.
reasonable.
And the one that I bought was super basic, like kind of boring looking. They have like house shaped ones. Like they have some really cool ones. And on top of the bat boxes, which are cool enough as it is, they also have owl and bee boxes. And the bee boxes are particularly interesting to me because we all know we got to save the bees, right? Because
We
you
got
got
it.
to save the bees. But here's the
Yeah,
thing. Let's say you're somebody that doesn't want bees all up in your business all the time. What you do is you buy the bee box, right? And then you put it at the far end of your yard and plant a bunch of wildflowers out that way. And the bees will, generally speaking, stay out there, out in that range.
the link on the description. This is amazing.
Right? They're so cool looking, right?
Yeah,
And and
I'm
the
surprised.
yeah, and the owl boxes are self-explanatory. Like owls are just cool. And if you want
Inside
Owls are
to,
cool.
a Batmobile, right? And
what's
Bruce
that?
Wayne inside of a bat cow is a Batmobile, right?
I mean, you
Bruce Wayne.
could always, yeah, you could always paint your bat box black though. So,
That's fun. The Big Bat Barn three chamber premium cellar bat is not expensive, and I love it. I love it, dude. I love it.
so
I'm looking.
yeah,
This sounds really cool. Quite
yeah,
honestly, it does.
it's like a 3 for 1. You get, you know, habitat for bats, so you encourage them to stick around, take care of your insect problem. It looks cool, so it's just generally good yard decor.
And the bats be
And
getting to be eating bugs, yo.
yeah, they be eating bugs. And plus, bats are awesome. I'm so like bats are just cool. Bats are
I mean,
awesome animals.
they're one of those. They're one of those animals that have a bad reputation because of movies,
Like sharks.
like
Yeah.
sharks.
Shark boxes are coming soon. I'm kidding. Shark boxes are
Hashtag
not coming
justice
soon.
for sharks.
All right, guys, recommendations because we're running out of time.
All right, I'll
And
start things off. I'll start things off with the movie recommendation. This is one of the many fantastic DC animated movies, in which, funnily enough, the first time I watched it, I didn't care for it, but then I watched it again, and I'm like, you know what? I disliked it because it wasn't what I thought it was, but this is actually a really good movie, and probably one of the best representations of pure Superman. Superman versus the Elite.
Oh, Jordan, we talked about it on our show.
It's a
That one's really good.
The end of that movie is awesome and perfectly. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but watch it. You'll love it. It's great. Superman versus the Elite. You can watch it on HBO Max.
Oh yeah, right. You guys got all this shit up. We don't have that. We had to acquire it by yo ho hoing a lot of it. Not that we
Savvy.
encourage that here, matey.
your time, just because I'm looking for.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna double up. because this is gonna be like my weird thing and my movie thing. So and it's gonna be my self-promotion thing. But this week on Spur of the Moment podcast, we're doing bad, weird, and animation you've never heard of. And so, Jake, I know you love the Titanic, but boy, did you know that there is an animated musical based on the Titanic?
Well, hang on. Is it the same one? Is this the anime film?
There's more than one, Jake. Did you know that there's more than one?
I had a feeling because I wasn't aware of the musical aspect.
This is called, this is, well, okay, this is Titanic, The Legend Goes On. It's an Italian-made animated movie, and it rips off so many Disney movies. It's incredible. It rips off Cinderella, so she has an evil, there's a female character who has an evil stepmom, two evil stepsisters, and an evil cat. It rips off 101 Dalmatians. There's literally Dalmatians who have puppies. It rips off, what else? It rips off Titanic because it came out in the year 2000. So there's obviously a Jack and a Rose. There is, for some strange reason, only one musical number, and it's a rapping dog. The dog just starts rapping. I don't know why. It doesn't rap again. There's no other musical numbers in the movie, and it has a happy ending because we all know famously the Titanic has a happy ending. It is delightfully weird. It's on YouTube for free. It's Titanic: The Legend Goes On. Fully recommend it.
Nice.
I gotta watch this movie.
This movie is a really short film. Uh, just for the record, Battle of the Sun, right? Make fights. And I know that name is not gonna sound like it's from Superman because I want to stay on topic. But if you gotta watch Batman versus Darth Vader,
That's great.
it's amazing. It's 8 minutes, and there's another version of 10 minutes with an alternative ending. It's a super well done short film. Batman is saving Superman because Vader captured him. It's amazing. Got to the day 19 million views.
It's also believable, which really surprised me.
Really? Because on concept, it does not sound believable.
That's what I said.
Out.
That's what I said when Virus first told me, or somebody told me about it. I think it was Virus. It was either Virus or Nick. And I think it was Virus though. And I watched it and I'm like, this, come on. But you watch it and you're like, okay.
Justin, have you watched it?
No, I have not. I'm gonna have to check it out after this.
I'll text it to you when we're done. You're gonna blow. It's 5 minutes. 5 minutes and 8 seconds. Gonna blow.
Yeah, send it to me because I'm gonna have to check this out.
Yeah. So TV series. Let me start. Obviously, Lewis and Clark, HBO. That is amazing. The fourth season, we have everything there. We have all the drama. I must confess, the first time somebody recommended me that show, I saw the first episode and I hated it to the point that I didn't finish the first episode. And I got a rule to watch at least 3 episodes, but I hated it so much. But then I said, well, Superman got kids. And somebody told me it's okay to grow up. And I got like, I'm going to go and watch it. Because in my mind, it's like, Superman, really? Kids? I'm that fucking old? That's what I thought.
The kryptonite condom eventually has to come off.
Well, that's something beautiful about this show. They touched that subject.
Did they actually?
And it's,
good for them.
It's really good. I'm not going to say anything but because I don't want to spoiler, but you got to watch it, Jake, because the ending, fantastic.
I want to watch it so bad. It's not streaming on anything in Canada. It's really frustrating.
HBO, Justin.
We don't have HBO Max in Canada.
You have the app. You have the app.
Do we have the app in Canada?
Sure, I know.
Oh, so usually all my HBO shit goes to Crave. That's a Canadian reference.
Crowd have it, but you can buy the app, download the app.
I'll
really good. Trust me.
I want to watch that.
Yeah, that is my show for the recommendation for today. Yeah.
I got to be a basic bitch and just recommend Superman the animated series. It's what
I'm glad you did. If you weren't, I was gonna.
it's what a lot of us millennials grew up on, and frankly, because I can't recommend Young Justice again. So, but no, it's good.
Recommend it so many times.
Yeah. But no, it's a good series. Now, like growing up, I was much more of a Batman the animated series fan, but they do some really good crossover episodes between those two, and obviously it leads into the Justice League animated series, all in that Bruce Timm DCAU. Before shared universes were really culturally.
It also has the best Batman and Superman movie.
That's true. It does.
I just saw something online looking for my recommendation. I went blown away. Go ahead. You're gonna recommend a show? Just
I'm gonna recommend. I mean, we got to go all the way back to Superman's origins. I watched it for Superman week, Smallville. Gotta recommend Smallville. It's
it's,
I don't know if you guys have it on Amazon Prime in America, but it's on
yes,
Amazon Prime in Canada.
yes, we do.
It is delightfully
We
early to mid
feel
2000s. The needle drops, like my one of my personal, I watched season one, and one of my personal favorite needle drops is, I don't did either of you guys watch Smallville
yeah,
at
yeah.
all? Yeah. The funniest needle drop is when Clark is spying on Whitney and Lana as they're making out from across the street, and the music is he's literally Satan. He's Satan. I'm like, this is so funny. Yeah, slew of random guest actors. Amy Adams is a fat vampire. Amazing. Totally worth it to go back in the Wayback Machine.
It kind of throw me a little off when Aqualad appeared for the first time back in the
I'm
day, but I pushed through and it was worth it.
I was like that. I was in that show when it came out. So when Terrence Stamp was Jor-El, the big theory, like this was pre TikTok, pre YouTube, pre all that, and like the big theory was is it actually Zod, because it's Zod voice, and we would talk, like, you remember how we used to talk about shit around the water cooler?
Yeah,
We would talk about it around the water cooler. Do you think it's Zod?
that's awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna recommend obviously a comic book. I wanted to see what number it was. It just shocked me that the cost of this comic that I actually have, believe it or not, the Death of Superman of 1993. You know how much the compendium of the Death of Superman, first edition 1993? You know how much it is?
I
How
think it's
much?
$5,000.
$9,000.
Oh, I wasn't far off.
That's
That's pretty expensive.
So if you want to spend $9,000, don't call them. I will sell you mine for 8,000, right? Because I get it by memorized. But if you want to watch it or read it, of course you don't have to read the first edition. It's already one thing before in HBO. You have all the DC comics from everything, Justin, in the app.
Interesting.
Everything.
Good
And you
know.
can buy DC Unlimited, that you can read any comic, just like Marvel Unlimited, for $9 a month. I got that digitally now. It's really fun because I can go and read this again. But the Death of Superman, the compendium, is rarely Marvel. When you buy a compendium, they make a compendium, but they don't put all the comics. They just put the prime story. But not DC. DC actually put everything, and I love that Superman is. I remember I was young when I was this. I remember I was wearing the original box. Well, it was a bag. It was a black bag, and you open it right and have the comic of the Death of Superman and a black thing that you can put in your arm. I wore that black thing for 2 months. It was fucking awesome.
That's a solid comic book recommendation.
Yeah. Your turn, guys.
This good. This good. So wait, where are we at now? Music or weird thing?
Music of comics or books or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay, so musically, again, gotta be a basic bitch, but just the Superman theme of Superman 2025. It's exceptional.
Oh, it's really good.
And
I love the
some people are really like tearing it apart, and I'm like, why?
what? How
I
could
know
you tear
why.
apart that classic
Know
John
what they're
Williams
tearing
influence?
apart, Jake? Because James Gunn always uses really famous pop music to make a point, and in this one, he didn't use "Stuck in a Feeling" or things like that. But I think the soundtrack is really good.
He did a couple of there was a couple times I was like, oh, you couldn't resist sneaking in at least one needle drop, could you, James Gunn? You had to do at least. But yeah, I mean, the first time I saw the first trailer and the guitar, the ding ding, oh, so I saw a really stupid TikTok today. Someone being like, today was the first day I realized that in the John Williams score he's saying Superman. I was like, oh, Gen Z is really dumb.
It's really dumb, and if they don't like it, anyway.
So I'm sorry for I just real quick. I gotta recommend all the basic Superman pop music over the years. So Five for Fighting, it's not easy being me. Kryptonite, with Three Doors Down,
My
and
recommendation.
I love those
You
songs. Unironically,
love
I'm just
everything. That's funny.
and I have to the Superman song by as a Canadian, Crash Test Dummies.
Yeah, you know what? My recommendation was Kryptonite. Uh, and I got
You've
this
always
always,
got waiting. You've always got Waiting for Superman by Daughtry.
yeah, or Superman by Eminem. It's not that bad.
That's
But
also not that bad.
the Jimmy Olsen Blues, I'm gonna have to take. That's my second option by the Spin
That's
Doctors.
solid choice. Solid choice. Okay, gotta love that's another funny thing about Smallville is you at some point they play every single Superman. So it's like by episode 4, it's like, oh, there's Kryptonite, and there's It's Not Easy Being Me. Oh, and there's Superman with the Crash Test Dummies.
That's fantastic.
I'm No Superman, Laszlo Bane.
That's another solid one.
Like an extra recommendation. I know we're done. Yeah, we're done, right?
We got our weird / quirky one, but I think you've snuck yours in there.
Well, no, I can do this in a quirky one. Maybe I did it wrong. I know I already recommended that of Superman, the comic book, The Complex, but Roger Stern make a novel, no drawings, no graphic novel. It's a real novel of the death of Superman. When I wrote it, I went like, "Fuck, it's so good." The Death of Superman, the Absolute Edition hardcover by Roger Stern. The novel is fantastic. If you guys haven't read it, I highly recommend it because we have the convention of the thought, right, of a comic, but they put it so good into words as a novel. I don't know if you have read it, Jake. It's really good.
No, I have
Then
not, but I want to now.
no,
You
no,
know
it's
what? Since
you
I've got
love
a
it.
comic after Jake goes, I've got a comic book recommendation. Since you've given a couple of good ones, I've got a good Superman one. Sorry, Jake, you go ahead though.
Well, my weird recommendation, I'm just going to reinforce. Check out Just Another Movie Night, awesome movie review podcast. If you missed it at the beginning, they do before and after movie reviews. Phenomenal.
That's always fun.
Their Superman one was pretty much exactly what I thought the movie was going to be, and I was right. But it's a solidly good show. I enjoy listening to them.
So for me, one of my all-time favorite Superman comics of all time. If you're a fan of Monty Python, it's written by John Cleese. It's a what if story where it's what if Superman landed in Britain instead of America, and he works for a tabloid newspaper, and he's a bumbling kind of idiot kind of character, and his ultimate nemesis is a man with a cricket bat in his chest called the Batman. And
Nice.
it is phenomenal. It is super funny.
You
It's
see, the
one of my
only
all-time
problem with
favorites.
that is his name's Superman.
It ends with
It's
him
co-
going to America as an immigrant. It's really funny.
and it's confusing as all get out because people are like, "Oi, Superman!" Did he just say Superman? No, Superman. This is very confusing. I don't know if he's saying Superman,
Superman.
Superman. It's just confusing. It's just confusing, right?
A little bit confusing. But yeah, it's a great
Super,
comic.
su-
It's a great comic.
Superman, you want to bought war?
You're crazy, bro.
We just
You're
lost the
Hey,
entire British part of the audience.
that's okay because funnily enough, thanks to Haley's Hamilton episode, what I've said for years as a legitimate just a joke, right? I've always sort of had the joke that the English deserve criticism for butchering their own language. And then it turns out that I was fucking right because they did in fact butcher their own language. So I just took that. I'm like, well, I was just kidding, but
No longer the Queen's English.
Oh, okay. Just for the record, somebody saying the movie. I read that the what's the name of the hot girl, right?
Pat
And super
Grant.
hot girl and Good Geiner. Actually, many years ago, it was a comic for kids called Superman: The Good Guys Gang. Have you guys seen it? It
No.
in the cover is Guy Gardner, hot girl, and Superman with Lex Luthor in the back. Draw like draw as kids. Remember dog narinas? Remember the kind of drawings like dog?
Mm-hmm.
The kind of dog? I don't know if you guys can see it. Can you guys see it?
Nope,
No,
I just see
just
your
looking at
office.
a tasteful loft is what I'm looking at.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, it's a funny recommendation. Superman, the Good Guy Gang. It's for kids, obviously. It's for 4-year-old kids. It's kind of
Yeah,
fun.
see, that's what I mean when I say whenever anyone says that Superman's boring, I'm just like, you're just not reading the right Superman comics or watching the right Superman media. Go watch James Gunn's Superman. Boom, I did it.
Go.
Well, and not only that, for you'll notice that nobody said this movie's bombed because if you go watch, actually, I will say this. This is funny. Critical Drinker kept referring it this way. If you go watch James Gunn's Superman by James Gunn, you'll see.
It's doing okay. I don't think because Virus he was concerned that it was going to bomb. I think it's currently making its money back. I think this is the kind of movie that'll build. I think that like us doing videos like this and people talking about it and generating buzz. I mean, both you watched it 3 times. You're like, I'm going to go watch it again. I think it's one of those movies where it'll pick up second, third weekend.
Oh no, I've been seeing packed theaters is what I've been saying.
Yeah,
So
when you and me talk, it was Saturday morning or Sunday
Sunday
morning?
morning.
Sunday,
Sunday morning.
No, it was Sunday morning, Justin. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
morning, and it was $41 million in the States and 95 worldwide. And that was Sunday morning when I talked to Jake after he watched the movie, where it was in 225 worldwide and
Oh wow.
140. But that difference in the Sunday, I was worried because if the numbers didn't, usually they grew up Friday and Saturday, not Sunday. But it worked, so I'm happy because I was afraid not to have more of this Superman because of the people, because
I see.
we're crushing
It
it.
it's hard for me to judge because I live in a butt fuck nowhere town. So like when we go to theaters, they're usually kind of empty. And it's just not a good indication as to whether or not something performed. Well, this one happened to be kind of busy, but it still wasn't that busy. So
did we lose Virus?
I think we may have lost Virus.
Yep, we lost Virus. But that's
That was
okay.
it. That was our cue to end the podcast, Jake.
I was gonna say that's okay because now the show's over. So
It's over now.
in
Goodbye.
the
This
in
is
the
the
words of
post-credit scene.
Deadpool, it's over.
It's
Go
it's
home.
over. He's Superman. I'm Mr. Terrific. We kind of sort of fixed the building. Darn it. I'm such a jerk sometimes. Go home.